My first experience with the police was the LAPD. And this was before the Rodney King riots and all that sort of stuff. The police out there were always known to be the bad guys. It's such a funny thing that a lot of folks grow up and they think that the police are the good guys, and they very well may be. I'm not trying to say, but for me, the way that I grew up is you definitely want to steer clear of the police. If they see you, keep your head down, keep it pushing. You don't want no interaction with them people because they don't like you. They will hurt you, harm you, all these. And I saw those things happen. I saw the police smash a man's head into a car. He was sitting on the ground and dent the door in. That happened when I was probably like 5 years old. He was sitting there and they did that. So I had everything. There was no confirmation bias here. There's an actual lived experience. So please get behind us. License and registration. Q takes out what paperwork he could put together.
Yeah, so we bought this car 30 hours ago. I have to go through this folder that the dealership gave me with every document concerning this vehicle from ever to try to find the proper paperwork to give to the officer. So I asked for his permission to sift through this, manila envelope of documents trying to find the right paperwork. I don't want him to think there's anything fishy going on. I just actually have to find this because I've never had to present this document before. As you were.
So, normally that's enough. Given the paperwork, everything's fine. There was a little bit of a swerve, goes back to the car, comes back and gives back the paperwork and asks, can you step out of the vehicle? Now, let me say something.
Before you say.
All right.
Do you know why we pulled you over? Was the question that the guy asked when he first walked up to the car. And because I know I was not speeding, I say that to him. No, sir, I don't know. Because I wasn't speeding, the car was on cruise control. This is when he says back to us that he heard the noise from the grooves outside of the lane.
Okay, so the sequence is important here.
Important to bring that up because the why matters. Mm-hmm. And I also bring this up because when having this conversation with just Ramses and Ramses brought this up to me, and in the moment I never thought about it. Why, when hearing that noise, would an officer pull you over? Maybe because it was the middle of the night, they thought you may have had something to drink.
Sure.
Our sobriety was never mentioned, nor was it tested.
It never even came into question, and that's the point I was trying to make. So
that's why I interrupted you.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, so I'm glad you said it that way. I was gonna get that, but at least the officers talking to Q on this side of the car, and could very well ascertain from his speech, from his mannerisms, eye contact, etc., that this person was not a person who was inebriated in the least. Any reasonable thinking person could tell that. Certainly any police officer who is trained to identify a person who is inebriated versus a person who is sober would be able to identify that. At that point, when you've identified yourself, there's no outstanding warrants, when you've given all the information on the car, when the car is clearly not stolen, and you say, I'm not from here, I didn't realize that, I'm on my way out of town, I'm 10 minutes from the border, there's nothing else to talk about here. So the fact that, I'm going to jump ahead, but we're going to go back. The fact that they brought dogs out was, not only was it insulting and scary and unnecessary, it was extremely unfair, and it speaks to this idea that black folks gotta be up to something.